Today, I have been invited to the Embassy of Eritrea here in central London for the launch of an amazing new book by prominent historian and lawyer Alemseged Tesfai, An African Person's Quest for Freedom and Justice. Born in Eritrea in 1944, Alemseged is best known for his work, The Other War, but he has returned to give us more insight into Eritrea, told through the eyes of an Eritrean. Because for too long, Africans have had to endure their history being told to them by outsiders, people with agendas and colonial powers. But right now, it's time for Africans to tell their truth. It's time for Africans to give you their insight. Raw, uncut, and unapologetically African. Can you let people know exactly who you are?
Good evening, viewers. And my name is Ambassador Uzo Oune. I used to be Ambassador of Comoros Republic to the International Maritime Organization in UK.
You asked a question in there and you said that, when Africans are outside of the Africa and in the UK or somewhere else, that they seem to get along quite well. Why do you think that when they're on the continent, they don't?
That is one of the issues that we have been working at, trying to promote the unity and understanding of Africans, love and live in harmony with themselves. Because you can see that from the incidents in South Africa, you see South Africans attacking Zimbabweans to leave their country. We also see Nigeria and Ghana, Angola versus other African countries. And you begin to wonder, what's wrong? You don't see that among Europeans fighting each other, that the Germans are fighting each other in France or the ones in UK fighting the Australian. It doesn't happen. But it's a problem which we're trying to see how we can bring about. And every effort is being done in terms of sensitization, in terms of improvement, and talking to our governments in effect that is important. In fact, even if you see in terms of infrastructure and connectivity within the continent, it's hardly there. And even trade is low. Our intra-Africa trade is below 20%. And these are things that we're working at that, look, our government should be work in progress, both the private and the public sector, to work together for interconnectivity, for inter-African free goods of movement and people. So, of course, they've all signed up to the Africa Free Continental Trade Area, which is similar to what you have with Asia, opening up among themselves so that they do business within each other. So, it's very telling of the need for this connection and this gap to be filled by continuous promoting the need for Africans to live in harmony with one another and do business with each other.
First of all, salam. Alemseged, I want to talk to Africans generally about telling their own stories, and I want to understand from your perspective how important it is for Africans to tell their own story.
Well, for far too long, the African story, for a long time, the African story was told by other people, by foreigners, by colonizers, by people of other interests who come to Africa to promote their own agendas. And Africans were taken as a people without history, people who became historical objects and subjects only after European colonization, and that's not true. I mean, no people is without a history. No people is void from its own historical development, and no one also understands a people more than the people themselves. The people themselves. It's the same thing in Eritrea. You know, my own interest in writing Eritrean history came when I realized that Eritrea was being written in a way that Eritreans don't really relate. You know, they don't relate to the kind of history that was being written about them, and their fate was also being decided in a way that didn't take their historical and cultural and psychological makeup into consideration. And so that's what drove me into writing history in the first place.
معلت صاحا يعربوني كدليكي تفكني أغيم